I went above and beyond to complete my final college research paper and was awarded with my life being ruined. I was expelled from a small private liberal arts university 2 weeks before I was supposed to graduate. I was studying computer science, and 1 month before our final, the professor decided that we weren't going to have a final at all, and instead assigned us with a research project on an extremely niche area of our choosing. I had other classes to worry about too, but this paper was humongous, so I put my all into the project from day one. Well, 2 weeks before the paper was due, the professor sent us an email out of nowhere requiring us to submit a rough draft within the next 3 days, or else he would fail us. Now, the topic I had chosen was so niche, I was only able to find one text in the entire world on it. It was a really good source with 8 pages of mathematical proof, and I decided to cite this as the main reference for my paper. The problem was, there was no way I could do this sort of math on my own. I had tried to learn it ever since I was assigned the project, and was maybe getting the hang of it, but now with needing to submit a draft ASAP, I didn't have time. And so, because there was no digital copy on the internet of the source I was using, I found a physical book of it, and transcribed the 8 pages of mathematical proof by typing it into my assignment. It took me nearly 13 hours, and I turned my draft into my professor, citing the book I used to transcribe this math. I even explicitly told him this proof was extremely hard to acquire. In the finalized version of the paper, I will have my own math to back up my claims, and the math used here is just to demonstrate that the idea of my research project is valid. I'll be basing my entire paper around mathematical proof. Well, he called me the next day to inform me he has reported me to the Academic Affairs Council for plagiarism. I was dumbfounded. I once again explained that the important thing about the math here is that it works, that I am learning this math myself, and will be using my own math in my final paper, and most importantly, that the math here is only transcribed to show that the topic of my research paper makes mathematical sense. I also told him that it would be incredibly dumb for me to plagiarize the work that I clearly cited, and on a draft no less. Well, his response was, that is for the council to decide. A few days later, I appeared before the council. I told them about how the project and the draft was suddenly sprung onto us, that I was learning the math myself, and was going to use my own math in my final paper, and that I also had no idea it's even possible to be found guilty of plagiarism on a draft. But they were having none of it. I will never forget how they asked me why I didn't just learn the math faster. And so, because of my plagiarism, they found grounds to immediately remove me from campus. They told me I had 6 hours to pack my things and leave, or they would call the police and I would be found guilty of trespassing. I cried as I had to quickly pack my things and move back in with my parents who were beside themselves. And as a final cherry on top, I later saw a rumor on the campus social media that I had been expelled for R-wording a girl. My girlfriend even believed the rumors, and she left me later that week. The silence I received from friends was deafening, and what hurts most is that I had been deeply involved in the campus community all my college life. I was the vice president of the student body, and I was to carry our class banner as we entered the graduation ceremony. And instead, years later, I struggled to find a job because a background check on my name will show you false rumors about me being expelled for R-wording a girl.